So Fred and I started Mind Builders in 2001 using a training program called PACE. And the average increase after 60 sessions was 3.6 years. It's a good program, and it also has a reading program that goes with it. But 5 years ago, we discovered brain integration therapy, which has been absolutely amazing. I'm not going to go into a lot of the technical description about brain integration therapy today. It's in your handout. It describes the history and how it got started, what a session looks like, and there's also a list that shows you the signs of difficulties that you might see if someone's having an integration issue. Here we go. This is one of the families from Parents Challenge that we worked with, and I just like having that picture up there. It's a reminder of what a precious gift our children are to us. They have a destiny and a purpose, and there are sometimes obstacles that come up that are blocking that purpose. Brain integration removes the obstacles and really makes a change. One of the first things that we see with brain integration is that a person is emotionally grounded, single-minded, and they have a third-person perspective. So the reason you're seeing a picture of a lamp is because it's a simple way of giving you an example of what brain integration does. If you're looking at a lamp that's unplugged, you wouldn't say it's broken. It's just unplugged. Electrically unplugged. And that's what brain integration does. We plug in the electrical system. The slide that Nancy had that showed the meridians is really what we're working with, the same thing. So we're working with different areas on the body that are connected with your eyes, your ears, your hands and eyes working together, your head, knowing where your feet are, a lot of different things like that. I wanted to focus this time more on stories about the students that I've worked with. And the first one I want to tell you about is Anna. And Anna was 7 years old, and she had experienced trauma. The first time that she came to see me, she hid behind her mother. And during the assessment that I do, she really struggled with being able to do even the basic things that we do. And she had been assessed by a psychiatrist who had pretty much told her mom not to have very much expectation in terms of her ability to learn. And after 3 sessions, I believe it was, that she walked in and she said, "Do you remember the first time I was here? I hid behind my mom." And this time she was all animated and excited and very verbal. And that's the way she was from then on, because she was plugged in. And after, I think it was 3 or 4 sessions, her mother sent me a picture of this, which is, for me, this is what it's all about. Her mom said that is the first time that she'd ever written anything by herself, and she was asking for a book. And this is a picture of Anna's pre and post tests. And as you can see, the green is after she had brain integration. Her total improvement in 10 sessions was 6.5 years. The last 2, right here, the visual auditory and the word identification, she was not able to do that the first time I worked with her. But she could do it and almost reach her age level after 10 sessions.
What is that measuring?
It's measuring cognitive skills, and I'm going to show you that in another slide. So the tools that you need for learning are cognitive skills and the underlying skills. And so we're measuring those to see if a person has those skills in place. And the first time that I worked with her, she could only write the first 6 letters of the alphabet. And after we were done, she wrote them all. You know, comparing that to the 60 sessions that I've been doing before that, I think it's remarkable.
And that dark line,
That's their age.
no, the one going across.
Yes. That's at her age. So it's showing you how close she is to her age or above her age. So this one is processing speed, working memory, visual processing, word attack, auditory analysis, logic and reasoning, visual auditory, and word identification. So the brain is not a single system, and there's many different systems working together. And this is a real simplistic picture. But the first picture is of lateral integration. So the right and left. The right is the emotions, colors and shapes. It's seeing the whole picture. It's the vision side of the brain. And the left is the hearing side and seeing in bits and pieces. The left side of the brain is logic. The right brain sees whole picture and sees how one thing flows into another. So the corpus callosum is designed to be a bridge and not a wall. So if it is not operating as a bridge, that's when people are diagnosed with dyslexia, ADD, ADHD, or dysgraphia. Dysgraphia has to do with hand-eye. Another way the brain is organized is bottom to top. This has a lot to do with emotions. So there's the brainstem, the instinctual part, then subconscious, emotional, rational. So often I see with kids that have been struggling in school year after year, they get stuck in a cycle of the emotions and can't get to the rational to even function in school. So back to front is the retrieval part. So when this is not integrated, one of the things that you see is the student that studies for a test and can't retrieve what they studied, they can't remember. Because you have, at the back of the brain is the receiving and storing information, then you have to be able to retrieve it to do something with it. So it's organized in those 3 different ways. This is just a picture of the cognitive skills, what you were asking me before. That's what we're testing. So it doesn't matter how excellent the teacher is, if these things aren't in place. The active processing system involves processing speed, working memory, and focus. And then you have long-term memory, visual processing, auditory processing, reasoning and logic, comprehension, and over that, the planning. So it's like, the best example is, would you like to build a house with hand tools or power tools? Power tools. So if all those tools are in place, then you can learn quickly and efficiently. A lot of times what I see is a child will compensate with a strong processing speed, strong memory, until they reach 4th grade, when they transition from learning to read to reading to learn. And if they've been covering up their ability to read, when they reach the learning to read, or reading to learn, that's when things fall apart. A lot of the schools are doing accommodation, but I believe that if you connect things and strengthen the weak tools, then they can succeed without having to accommodate. And I want to tell you about Caleb. Caleb had attention issues, and he wasn't interested in schoolwork, didn't want to participate. And one day when his mom brought him to a session, she said that she was driving down the road and she thought she'd forgotten him at home because he was so quiet. When she looked in the rearview mirror, he was sitting quietly in the back seat looking out the window. She said, that doesn't happen. And he is off of his attention meds. He's succeeding in school and doing really well. His improvement was 9.4 years and 10 sessions. And as you can see, he is above age in a lot of those areas.
So Judy, question for you.
Yeah.
A student like this, it looks like there were just several levels where he had improvement over the first time he was tested, but that wasn't his issue. His issue was more attention deficit disorder.
Yeah. And a lot of times the ADD, ADHD has to do with the auditory issue. So plugging in the ears will calm, emotionally ground, and so forth.
Judy, are these typical results?
Yeah.
How often do you see them? Is it weekly sessions attended?
It has to be 3 days apart. I like to do it once a week, but it doesn't have to be even once a week. Like I work with my grandchildren, and they're all in different states, and so I go and do a few sessions with them, but I don't stay long enough to be able to do the 10. So it just keeps improving. And there are exercises that you do between sessions that are strengthening the connections. If any of you are familiar with brain gym, it's very similar to the brain gym exercises. Yes?
Just a question, what's one tool that you would use for somebody who has like auditory issues?
What we're doing, it explains in this what the session looks like, but what we're basically doing is first getting the eyes to work together, because there's a thing called mixed dominance. So if a person is, say, left-eyed, dominant, right-eared, right-handed, right foot, that's mixed dominance, and it impedes the wiring connections. So, for example, I have left dominant eye, and I'm right everything else. So when we were integrated, my husband and I both have that. It was really remarkable because I never realized that my eyes felt funny when I got them both working together. You don't change the dominance, you just have the eyes working together. And so what happens is your eyes aren't switching midline from right to left. So when you have a left dominant eye, what happens is when you come to this part, you're kind of pulling the eye along. It just feels different. And, yeah, can I answer the question?
How can you tell if you're right or left dominated? Why? Hands are easy, but how do you know about the other?
Well, it's really easy. I could even show you.
Am I the only one that has one right now? No.
You're not the same.
Yeah. I don't know what to do with this. You want to hold it? Hold this. So you stand up. Stand up and you put your arms straight out. And make a little triangle here. And look through that. And so you're focusing on a point. And so you're going to close your left eye and see if you can see the point you were focused on. And if you can't, that means that you're left-eyed. If you can't see, so one eye, but the other. Yeah. What I usually do is have someone frame my nose because I can see which eye they're looking through.
Where's vision?
So look at me. That's great. So look at me. Okay, so close your right eye. Close your right eye. Yeah. to psychiatrists to be medicated, and instead they came for brain integration. And not only has she gotten over being anxious, but she had significant changes, 14.4 years. The interesting thing is the counselor works with kids in the foster system, and she is now referring people as a result of what she's seen that's happened with clients.
Judy, you have 10 sessions in the whole protocol?
Yeah. The woman that trained me sometimes does 7, but she, it depends on what she's seeing and what she's dealing with people. She's been doing it for 20 years or so. I have found that the 10 works much better. And this is Natalie. And Natalie fell out of a grocery cart at Costco when she was 7 months old and landed on her head. And she's 14 now. And her parents have done a lot of different things, including craniosacral and just a lot of different things to help her. She's doing very well. She had brain integration, and then I did cognitive skills training with her and the reading program, and her average increase was 4.17 years, but it was a long process. So she had the 10 sessions, and then she had 60 sessions, and then we had the reading program. But she's doing really well, and she was homeschooled until after we got done with this, and now she's in the public school. She still has some accommodation, but she's really thriving.
How long is the break session? An hour
It just depends. Each thing that I do, the first thing that we do is get the eyes working together, and so each thing takes a little bit different length of time depending on the repatterning activity that we do at the end. But it's between 30 to 45 minutes. And this is another of my favorite families, the Tubisons. And I just put that in there because I like the picture and because I want to emphasize that it's not just for children, it's for adults also. I work with whole families. And look who that is. It's Rod. And Rod was one of my students, and his mom sent this with a note that this has become a regular activity. Love it. Yeah. And this is PJ, and I love this picture because it's such a picture of confidence and success. And he is showing that he's got 100% on his math paper, but it's really about the brain integration and the brain training is really about the kids recognizing that they are really smart and that they can do it. And they've persevered and they've done it. And it's exciting.
Judy, you got a question over here?
I have 2 questions, actually. The first question is, at what age would you consider seeing someone?
I've worked with a 4-year-old, but it's really tough. 6 is the best. 6 years old is what generally.
I noticed this child has glasses on. I was wondering about that because you said that it's like you have to have both eyes working together. Now, with glasses, oftentimes, or sometimes, you don't have the same prescription on both sides. How does that affect?
It doesn't impact it because we're talking about the wiring, the electrical, the eyes working together.
So if they have like a lazy eye, that doesn't affect it?
Sometimes it will help that. And also, if they have astigmatism, sometimes the prescription gets better. Mine did.
Mine did also. That was the one thing that did improve for me. So driving at night, I would always see 2 forehead lights coming towards me. And after I got brain integration, then I only see 2 lights. So
Yeah, it's really interesting, you know, if you've seen things a certain way all your life, you don't know that it's not normal. Not everybody sees it that way. And I worked with a lady in her 60s, and the thing that she said that blew me away was that she never knew that she wasn't seeing out of both of her eyes. And after immigration, she was. So I love it. So there's an invitation along with your handout for you to fill out if you want me to contact you. And I also have some business cards up here. And I also asked the moms who have had experience with brain integration, who are willing to answer questions on their experience, to raise their hands or stand up. So you can see where they are, Lori. So there they are, and you can ask questions if you want to. Perpetua, okay?
Can you guys go up front and maybe share what you've seen? Yeah, that would be great. Those of you whose families have gone through this, maybe share what has happened or what you've seen in your child. That would be
And Brianna did this. This is Brianna.
So, I guess after I did this, reading for me is difficult and processing things. So I would read and then I would really understand anything. So I would read double words and I was like, oh my gosh. And then after doing this with her, it helps a lot with thinking and processing things and reading words as they should. And now I'm reading better and not looking at different other lines, and now I'm better. So I'm Tamara, and I sent my son Tristan to Cuba here. And he was a first grader last year, age 7. And he didn't like me at first when we were on the way there. But she just won him over quickly, and he so enjoyed his sessions. He was having troubles in school. He wasn't reading, he wasn't staying on task. And after a few sessions, it started to turn him around. She gave us homework that was really hard for both my son and me, my husband. So it was good for the whole family. So I really recommend it.
So my son is, I'm Stacey Lee, by the way, and I am also a teacher, but I got the recommendation actually from Tammy, and she's like, you gotta try this out. And I was like, no, I wasn't a believer in it whatsoever. And then we got accepted in the Parents Challenge, and this was the first thing that I wanted to do for my son. Because he's 7, he's in 2nd grade, he has a lot of trauma. His dad passed away about 4 years ago. And so that has just affected his schooling all the way around. It's affected his self-esteem and everything. Oh. Thinking that I wasn't going to do this. But she has been a blessing. She has changed my son's life. And I can officially say that he has been off of his ADHD medicine for 2 weeks now. He has made huge gains at school, and pray to God that tomorrow he can make his first day to school all day without any pads. So that's our hope now, and I look forward to even continuing the process the next couple months to the point where we've rearranged our budget just so that we can go and continue the therapy and stuff that she's done for my son.
When you're working with a family, do they all see you like back to back, or?
It depends on their schedules. Some of them come, 2 at a time. Some of them come all together. Whatever it works. Thank you very much. I appreciate this time.